Head over to thebestsongever.com and purchase our new hit, Together Again. It is a cover of Smokey Mike and the God King. That's Jeremy Boring and Michael Knowles. And with your help, we will smash our way onto the Billboard charts. Tucker was asking about the people and the companies behind the creation of these computer systems and AI. And I said, actually, James has some deep insights into what these companies do.
Yeah, well, you said it today, Charlie, about the 10 commandments within IBM.
I said it on PBD's show. I connected all the stories together because they're two seemingly unrelated stories. So IBM announces all this AI growth and their stock goes up. And then James O'Keefe reveals that they have the 10 commandments that govern the values of IBM. And so basically IBM is telling you that they're creating a woke superweapon.
This is so demonic.
No, that's basic. And exactly. And the 10 commandments are not, the 10 that were revealed to Moses on Sinai. They're literally like that white people can't be racist, that black people can do nothing wrong, that it's literally...
It says, quote, understand only white people are racist.
Yeah. It is the woke...
Is that an exact quote?
That's an exact quote.
It is the woke anti-racist decalogue is what...
And you said something pretty profound. You said that eventually AI will make this the actual 10 commandments.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you think for a second, Yuval Harari has already said that artificial intelligence is going to rewrite its own religion for Bible stories that, quote, make more sense for people.
Wow.
Yeah, of course they need to go after the actual 10 commandments. It's not going to be honor your mother and father. It's going to be honor your lesbian black master.
Yeah, Yuval Harari also said that the era of free will is over. Mm-hmm. That's the type of centralized thinking that these individuals are
let's
all
give him more power.
For.
Well, Tucker, you said that they were creating a god. They're creating a demon. They're creating a devil.
A false god.
Absolutely.
Baal,
no,
for sure. No, it's a demon. But what's so interesting is, at least, in the whole management kerfuffle over there at AIHQ, the letter that got him bounced briefly from the helm said these people are like, dancing around the proverbial fire, worshiping this thing. And I'm like, of course they are.
They have
of course there are rituals attached.
Yeah, they have the golden calf in there.
For real.
This is just to go off, but it's important, their stated goal, and Yuval Harari uses Bible stories all the time. That's what's so creepy. He talks about like the flood. He talks about the Tower of Babel. Since Nimrod tried to create the city of Babel in Genesis 11, they've been trying to reconstitute a oneness of the government and a oneness of the world. They think artificial intelligence will allow it.
It's a one-world government that they have always been after.
But that's what Genesis...
And they're going to do it through
That's why God scattered the people. Babel means God confuses. Babel, God confuses. Because God does not want a one-world government. He wants nations.
And now you add that to the fact that a lot of people think, especially politicians like Netanyahu, that believe that we're in the end of times. And when you see his conversations that he has with Elon Musk, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, a lot of things start to come together when it comes to the time that we are in right now that is going to be absolutely decisive for humanity. We could either be totally free or totally enslaved. That decision might not be ours.
I want to talk about one of the first iterations of artificial intelligence. A lot of people say this is not true AI. Fine, we don't got to nitpick on it. But Seamus brought it up. These AI girlfriends that have been popping up, all these different apps, where they whisper sweet nothings into the ears of young men to confuse them, to pull them away from reality. The scary thing about it is, these young men, they're on their phones and they think they're just having a chat on their phone. You're not. Behind this AI is a singular machine, a singular entity. Whether you want to believe it's some kind of conscious being, demon, whatever, it is a single entity. And each of its fake girlfriends that is talking to these young men is like a tentacle coming out of it. So these young men, they think they're being wooed by a siren towards the great seas to die, and it is a gigantic demonic beast luring them to them.
But it's so lonely. I mean, I believe in smell very strongly. If I can't smell you, you are not real. And so I mean that. And I don't understand how people could fall for that. Like, in the end, it's some computer-generated image. It's utterly fake. Like, how, it's like sadder than a sex doll.
Let me get needlessly scientific, just for Ian, because he's not on the stage anymore. There's this really cool thing called a laser-induced plasma channel. Now, one day this military guy's like, hey, I would really love to strike a guy with lightning with a gun. How do I do that? Well, the problem is lightning travels in the path of least resistance. So they got an idea. They use an infrared laser. I'm probably getting this way wrong, but bear with me anyway. You use an infrared laser to charge the air in a straight line, ionizing the particles, which creates an easier path for electricity. They could then point a cannon and fire a bolt of lightning, essentially. It's a waste of energy, so it didn't really work out. But the reason I bring this up is for fun, but mainly because young men are having a hard time meeting girls. I mean, especially with the Me Too stuff and all the
Not at
folks-
America Fest, but yeah.
Not at America Fest. America Fest is great. And that's why people should come to things like this to meet people.
Yes.
But imagine,
I agree.
all of those challenges of teen angst, and it is not easy to live. I mean, this is just reality. You have to strive, you have to struggle, you have to fail, and pick yourself back up. But along comes the candy man who says, ignore all of that, and I can satisfy all your deepest emotions with this machine right here. And so, unfortunately, a lot of young men, they might think to themselves, I will try and meet actual girls and get a real girlfriend, but, I'll just use the app for now. Then eventually they develop antisocial behaviors. They never meet people, they never develop those skills. Then they're 20 years old and they have no idea how to even talk to someone, but more importantly, the great opportunities to meet someone when you're young in your neighborhood used to be church, where your families and communities would meet. Public schools, I'm not a big fan of, but also a way that people would meet. And the workplace, now we're working from home. Now young people are using these apps and they're not even communicating anymore. If we get to when we're talking about these AI girlfriends as I just view this as a tremendous evil. Understand that dead internet theory, whether anyone wants to believe it's true or not, is coming true factually before our eyes. Because we're looking at AI bots communicating with us. Of course, eventually, now Twitter is integrating Grok. At what point does Grok start actually posting things and communicating with people? And at what point does someone create a bot using a paid script from GPT or something to make Twitter accounts or X accounts to communicate with people? And then you're there. You're in the fake world, and we may already be there.
Does anyone still think it's important to go outside and be with animals?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why we moved to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Because now I have a family of deer that live on my lawn.
It's so important.
And turkeys.
Yeah.
You'll
we
learn
got-
more from them than you will from Grok, trust me.
Chickens. We got a lot of chickens. And chickens are based AF, so we're very happy.
But what you were
I-
describing, Tim, what better way to depopulate a population than to do exactly that, what you're describing, and take Andrew Tate out of his business?
So James, walk us through, because this is some of the greatest work, and I just have to say this. James O'Keefe and Tucker Carlson have both had challenging 2023s. And I think I speak for all of us. We're so blessed and thankful that they're back and fighting stronger than ever. Right, Tim?
It's amazing to have you guys on stage together.
Now, if you think
I really
about it,
appreciate it.
If you think about it, the regime did whatever they did. I think I have strong thoughts on that. But they're both stronger than ever because they're both threats. James, we love you and we support you. Tell us about this. Is one of the most important stories you have published in quite some time.
Thank you, Charlie. And thank you, Tim. And nice to see you again, Tucker.
Great to see you, James.
I think that this story is remarkable because usually there's a couple people that maybe come to me. Now there's been 150 people within IBM that have come forward. 150. Wow. And I'm going to break something right on your show here. Well, I'll post it on X, so I guess I'll break it on X and also on your show. And this slide says, how does whiteness work? This is an IBM internal document. I talked to you a little about it, Tucker, but it's the Red Hat, which is the subsidiary of IBM, and it says, quote, whiteness constructs the game, hides the rules, then rigs the game over and over again. It's this slide that they give out inside IBM, and so there's really kind of an explosion of whistleblowers coming forward. It's very encouraging, and I think that that could have a real effect in 2024. I think the whistleblower is going to be very important in 2024. People on the inside with access to what's happening.
Yeah,
So-
I'm fairly optimistic.
Right.
I got to be honest. I mean, with what you're saying, especially, but we just have to we have to be vigilant.
Well, it's almost like the first person, he has to take an extreme leap of faith, and then everyone else will follow. But this is the sort of whistleblowing in numbers, in big numbers. I've never seen that before, and it's very encouraging to me. But someone has to come forward first, and that person is still within IBM. IBM Deep Throat is still there. So I'm very encouraged by that, Charlie, because usually it was a couple people, but it's hundreds. And I think that that's going to be a taste of what's to come.
And the CEO has responded, right, James?
CEO was on an all-staff meeting.
A foreigner who became an American,
And-
Arvind Krishna.
Because he said if you hire white people or there's too many Asians, we'll dock your bonus and terminate you. So then he gets on an all-staff call last week, and he says, there's this video that came out, of me, and I said these things, and he's talking to tens of thousands of people, and he says, don't give this any oxygen, don't give this any response. And that was recorded and leaked and published. So the CEO is telling everyone inside the company, don't respond to this. So I don't know what they're going to do now. They can't fire 100 people.
This is building culture. And the message, James, you've spread for a long time of be brave has reached a lot of people. And if everyone holds that within their hearts that they will always be brave and stand up for what they believe in, we need not worry about this in 10 years. But that's hoping.
In numbers. I think people need to do it in numbers.
If anyone's watching, to connect all this together, we need more whistleblowers in these AI companies right now. We need whistleblowers right now in these AI companies to come forward with what's really going on, how advanced is this technology. We don't know enough. We had one, didn't you, Tucker? Didn't you have a Google whistleblower that said it already reached singularity?
Yeah. And
wow.
yeah, it's been happening like so many trends in our society in slow motion, and you sort of see it and you register alarm and then like deep ominous dread, and then you sort of move on to the next unfolding crisis. And it doesn't feel like anyone can pause long enough to address any of them, and they're just sort of moving inexorably forward almost autonomously. And if you put it all together, you're like, what are we watching here? We're watching like an actual pivot point in history. And I don't think I'm not an alarmist by temperament. I have a sunny disposition, I think. And, but I don't see you can reach any other conclusion from that.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.